Hey everybody. Alright, so if you want to read this, you just type that into Google. Dietary strategies for the treatment of cadmium and lead toxicity. Alright, I'm just going to do these tablets here. Because, it talks about zinc, selenium. It does not give a name for that one, so I'm not sure what that one is. Iron, calcium, magnesium. Alright. Zinc restores the activity of GPX and SOD in the tests and attendant DNA oxidation in the gonads. I know it sounds funny. Zinc restored the activity of SOD, XO, and CAT and decreased the LP levels in the pup's brains. Selenium restored the activity of SOD and CAT, increased the vitamin C content, and decreased the level of LP in the brain. It also decreased the CD level in the lungs. I'm not sure what this one has. No name. It's very strange. Iron. An iron-sufficient diet decreased the CD burden in the tissue and regulated intestinal CD absorption through the iron transporters. CD is that cadmium. Hang on. It's that word. Cadmium. Iron, we did that. Calcium decreased the synapsimal ACHE and that mitochondrial activity and improved the pup's total locomotor activity and exploratory behavior. Magnesium. Pre-treatment was effective in restoring the renal and testes. So these things, tablet 2, studies on protective effectiveness of edible plants against the CD and the PB toxicity. Remember, CD and PD is cadmium and lead. Soybean-based diet. It's pretty good. Garlic. Ginger. Onion. Green tea. Curry leaf. Grapes. Tomato. Okay. Tablet 3, we got protective mechanisms of photochemicals against CD and PD toxicity in their food source. Not very good at saying these words here. Don't, just bear with me. Quercetin, food source, onion, tomato, capers, and radish. Alright, this one doesn't have a name again. That's very strange to me. Catchin, tea, cocoa, peach, and berries. That one don't have a name or anything like that one. So they're hiding some information there. Oh, I didn't look at the phone. You can't even see what I'm pointing at, huh? Anthocyanin, not sure. Protects against stress. Cherry, grape, and berries. Curcumin, turmeric, naringenin, orange, grapefruit, and tomato. This word there, rice, and that word there. Okay. And then we got, good job, Emma. Cadmium and lead toxicity, oral or respiratory exposure. Okay. Pretty crazy. Essential metals, vitamins, edible plants, probiotics. A selection of recommended foods is tomatoes, because they're rich in iron, calcium, selenium, zinc, vitamin B, and C. And then those other two words. Berries, rich in essential elements, vitamin C, and other words. Onions, garlic, and grapes. Alright, had to share all this. Alright, now, I got this one too. It's really fast. You can always type these into Google if you want to read the whole thing. They're like up to 30 pages long. Arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury in sweat. Okay. So, arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury exposures are ubiquitous. These toxic elements have no physiological benefits. Engineering interest in minimizing body burden. The psychological process of sweating has long been regarded as cleansing and of low risk. Reports of toxin levels in sweat were sought in Medline, Embis, Toxline, Biosis, and AMED, as well as reference lists in gray literature from inception to March 22, 2011. Of 122 records identified, 24 were included in evidence synthesis. Populations in sweat collection method and concentrations varied widely in individuals with higher exposure or body burden. Sweat generally exceeded plasma or urine concentrations, and dermal could match or surpass urinary daily excretion. Arsenic dermal excretion was several-fold higher in arsenic-exposed individuals than in unexposed controls. Cadmium was more concentrated in sweat than in blood plasma. Sweat lead was associated with high molecular weight molecules, and in the interventional study, levels were higher with indoors compared with intensive exercise. Mercury levels normalized with repeated saunas in a case report. Sweating deserves consideration for toxic element detoxification. Research includes appropriately sized trials and needed to establish safe, effective therapeutic protocols. All right, I had to share that one too. No person is without some level of toxic metals in their body, circulating and accumulating with the acute and chronic lifetime exposures. An individual may take numerous measures to minimize exposures and to optimize metabolism and excretion of toxic metals in the stool and urine with diet, supplements, and gelatin therapy. However, an often overlooked route of excretion of toxins is via the process of sweating. Sweating with heat and or exercise has been viewed throughout the ages by groups worldwide as cleansing. As part of scoping reviewed regarding arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury. We reviewed the scientific literature pertaining to toxin excretion in sweat. All right. I just had to share that. I had to. Because, sweating, yes, we need to sweat more, apparently. And then there's this part I had to read. Children and the fetus are more at risk of harm, with early exposure potentially predisposing the youngster over his or her lifetime to multi-system alignments as well as lower IQ, dysfunctional behavior. In older populations, there is increased likelihood of early congestive decline, as well as a range of conditions including kidney, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and osteoporosis. Okay, so the one I shared yesterday, diabetes. One of the 5 heaviest metals is an ingredient in the insulin. Okay? And then, for vaccinations, what are they putting in there? Mercury. And a lot of other stuff. We need to get this out, guys. We need to do something. There's a lot here to read. It's all about sweating. You guys can easily find it. It's not hard. Arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury may be excreted in appreciable quantities through the skin, and rates of excretion were reported to match or even exceed urinary excretion in a 24-hour period. This is of particular interest should renewal compromise limit urinary excretions of toxic metals. Alright, I just had to share this with you guys. Alright, conclusion. Should we read the conclusion? Sweating offers potential and deserves consideration to assist with removal of toxic elements from the body. As toxic elements are implicated in many serious chronic conditions, research is needed in patients with select conditions to elevate the body burden and to test the efficiency of source removal, dietary choices, and supplements. Interventions that induce sweating and treatments with drugs, all to enhance excretion of toxic elements with the goal of clinical improvement. There is a clear need for robust trials, apparently sized to access clinical outcomes from with which Therapeutic protocols can be derived. Both biochemical and clinical outcomes should be examined in order to develop and monitor clinical interventions that are both safe and effective. But see, I believe in no pill. Don't take pills. Don't go, I don't know. I believe it's all about naturalness. We need to stop with their heavy metalness. Alright guys, I had to share that. Have a great day.